This To-It skill is in Smartboard Tools and focuses on right mouse click, calculator, and keyboard. These offer some quick access to commonly used features. I'm also going to be showing you some advanced features and options in the keyboard that you may not be aware of. So let's take a look. I'm on the desktop right now, and on the very left side of the screen are my Smartboard tools. So I'm going to click on the arrows, which will bring up my tools, and the first one I'm going to show you is the right mouse click. Now notice on the right mouse click that it has a red button on it. When I select that feature, it's going to turn green, which means the next thing that I touch is going to be a right mouse click. And when I select it, it's going to give me a drop-down list of items that I can change on the desktop. When I click away, I can also click the right mouse click button again, and it will turn back to red. And of course, the right mouse click drop-down menu disappears. I'm going to open up Word by clicking on my task tray down on the bottom, just to show you the difference when you right mouse click in Word. So I'm going to click the right mouse click button and select an area in Word, and notice that a different drop-down menu appears. That's because the drop-down menus are contextual, meaning that they're different in each program. As soon as I click away the right mouse click button, the drop-down menu disappears. So I'm going to click the right mouse click button again to turn it back to red. And I'm also going to minimize Word. The next tool is the calculator. When I select the calculator button, it'll bring up my calculator. And this is the standard calculator that comes with the operating system. You can use it as a regular keyboard. So if I type in 128 times 64, when I click equals, it'll give me the answer 8192. If I go to View up here and I choose Digit Grouping, it automatically puts in a comma so I can easily see 8,192. And this is good for students as they learn place value. You can also change the calculator from a standard calculator into a scientific calculator. So when I select scientific, it gives me a full calculator here in which I can do all of the functions that a regular scientific calculator would be able to do. So again, if I type in the same equation or the same problem of 128 times 64, I click equals, I have my same answer of 8,192. I can also go into Edit up here, and then I can choose Copy. And what that will do is copy whatever the result is up here. And this is good if I want to transfer it to another program. So I'm going to click Copy, and it will copy that whole answer. Now I'm going to close the calculator and open up Keyboard. So I'm going to go into my keyboard, and it brings up the standard keyboard that's up here. I'm going to open up Word now so that we're in Word and we can see what we're doing. Now the important thing to remember when you're using the keyboard is that you need to have the insertion point in your document. So whatever you start typing is going to appear in your document. The insertion point, I'm going to click in here, is the blinking line. So whenever you start typing, it will start typing on that line. So you need to make sure that you click within your document before you start typing. So if I type in to-it, it will write to it. I can also change the formatting very easily. So let me just make this a little bit easier to read so it's a little bit larger. I also have a Enter button. So if I hit Enter, it's going to bring it down one line. You can also have the Shift key. So if you want to say, if I want to press the Shift up here and write Skills, S-K-I-L-L-S, or if you want to have everything fully capitalized, let me move my keyboard over just a little bit. Notice that when I move my keyboard over, my insertion point disappeared. You need to click back into Word to make sure that insertion point is there. If I press space, I have Skills, and I'm going to press the capital locks, and I'm going to say from, and then space to IT. So it will write anything in capitals that you want. And again, you can just turn on and off capital locks as a standard keyboard would. Now I'm going to show you some of the other keys that are on the far right of the keyboard, and I'm going to bring up Google. Now these keys that are on the side allow you to do page up and down and are able to move and scroll through things if you want to do that. So in order to have more than a single page right here, I'm going to choose News. So we're in Google News at the moment, in which we can scroll down. I can click in my web area on the web page and click page down, and it will start scrolling down. I can also click end, and it will scroll all the way down to the very end. I can click home, and it will scroll to the very top. I can also choose the arrows, and I can scroll down just a little bit as I go through all of the day's news. So I'm going to, let's see, I can also click the backspace here, and it will take me back to the previous page. I'm going to minimize that for right now, and I'm going to click back into Word, and I'm going to hit Enter. And there we go. Now it's blinking in the correct spot. I'm going to show you some of the other things that we can also use. We can use the number pad, and the number pad looks similar to the calculator, except the number pad is just a keypad to put in information. So if I click right here and I type in the number of 8192, which is the answer that I had from before, I can just type in anything, and I also have some other scientific or parentheses and other things that I can use with my number pad. Here I have a backspace, and this next one is a tab, so I can tab it over, and then I also have return, and this one is space. So if I write 8192, and if I want a space, I'll press the space that's right there. I'm going to hit Enter, and it will bring me down. The next one is Write, and I will get to that on the very end. I'm going to go into Shortcut right now, and Shortcut is available and Write are available only on the Windows operating system currently. Shortcut allows you to write in some shortcuts. For example, remember when we were in the calculator, we did edit copy. So the computer has still remembered that number that I had put in. The shortcut for paste is Control V. And if I press Control and write the letter V in here, it's going to put in a Control V, which is a command for paste, and it puts it directly in there. I can also press Escape or any of the Alt commands or a function command, and it will put that in there also. Let me move down to the next one, which is Simple. Now, Simple allows you to have a keyboard that makes sense to younger students because the letters are all in alphabetical order. The numbers are also. So for the students that are younger, I can hit Enter right here, and they can easily see if they wanted to spell cat, they can do C-A-T, and they could just find them along the letters as they go through. The shift that's here will allow you to shift the letters so that they are capital, and then hit the shift button again, and they're back to regular letters, lowercase letters. Let me hit Enter and click from Simple down to Simple Caps. And Simple Caps keeps all of the letters capitalized, and this time when you press Shift, it will change the numbers into the special characters that are regularly assigned to the letters on a regular keyboard. And again, if I wanted to type cat, I would just type cat directly in there and hit Enter. And it looks like Word has automatically done some formatting for me. And here I could right mouse click on this by clicking the right mouse click button and then clicking cat and then choosing the correct form of cat, which is going to be all lowercase. So I'm going to hit Enter, and it looks like it's automatically capitalizing them also. So Word does some things in addition to what's happening with the keyboard. But let me show you the most fun one, which is the Write. And again, this is only in Windows. And I'm going to click down here at the bottom, And I can either use my finger or I can use a pen. And if I write something like to it skills, it'll take a second and it will commit this and it will do automatic handwriting recognition and put it in. One thing that I haven't talked about is settings. So I'm going to click settings up here, and there are a couple of different settings. If I choose click here and then I click OK, every time I write a letter, it's going to make a click sound. This is best shown in the Classic pad. So I'm going to switch it back to Classic just for a second. Press a space, and you hear the sounds. To it skills, from, to it. So you can hear that, and you could also see that after a while it may be a little bit distracting. So you can click on settings and then take off the click sound. I'm going to go into speech and click OK. And now I'm going to go back into the right here, click back into this line. Let me make a new line by clicking return. And now I'm going to write to it skills. And the computer
to it skills
will say it and commit it, which is a very good verbal feedback for the students. I can also pick up a pen and write in here, and I'll put the pen down,
from to it,
and it will put that in. Notice that I'll need to put a space in here, and I automatically have a space with this button right here, and I can put in a space. I can also change this so it's all capitals, even though I write in all lowercase. So if I hit enter again and I write in lowercase the word skills, and I hit the capitals button.
skills,
Let's try that one more time. I need to make sure the capitals is selected, and I write in lowercase skills. What it's going to do is turn all of that into capital letters. Let me scroll down a little bit so we can have everything nice and close to each other. And I'm going to hit enter one more time. The last one is numbers. So when I choose numbers, notice that my cursor goes, my insertion point goes away. I need to make sure that my insertion point is in the program that I want to work in. And if I write the number 341, it will put that in as
341,
put in the numbers and actually say it also. If I go to no preference and I write 3, 4, and I put a space and then I put a 1 over here,
34,
it will change this into 34 and then I. Notice that I did not put my cursor down into the area, so it didn't commit it to Word. So I'm going to click it in, now hit enter. So now my insertion point is down here, and I'll do the same thing. 3, 4 with a space and then 1.
34,
and it will say 34I, and notice that the first one is 341 and the next one is 34I, although they looked relatively the same. So if you're going to write numbers, you can always make sure that the I's are going to be there. And also notice and write that you can use cursive and manuscript when you're doing your writing. So those are just a few things that you can use when you are using the keyboard and some of the other tools in Smartboard Tools. Now it's time for you to get to it.